The force in motion. Understanding the concept of friction. Introduction. In the dynamic dance of objects in motion, friction emerges as a fundamental force that shapes the way things move and interact. The concept of friction, often thought of as an impediment to smooth motion, is a force that arises whenever two surfaces come into contact. In this article, we explore the concept of friction and delve into how it affects motion. Defining friction. Friction as a force. Friction is a force that opposes the relative motion or tendency of motion between two surfaces in contact. It acts parallel to the surfaces and can manifest as a resistance to the initiation of motion, static friction, or as a resistance to the ongoing motion, kinetic friction. Surfaces in contact. Friction occurs when two surfaces come into contact with each other. These surfaces can be solid, such as the tires of a car on a road, or fluid, like air resistance acting on a moving object. Types of friction. Static friction. Static friction is the force that prevents the initiation of motion between two surfaces. It comes into play when an object is at rest and a force is applied to set it in motion. The static friction force adjusts to match the applied force until the threshold is reached, and motion begins. Kinetic friction. Kinetic friction, also known as dynamic or sliding friction, is the force that opposes the motion of two surfaces sliding past each other. Once an object is in motion, kinetic friction comes into play and acts to slow down the object's motion. Rolling friction. Rolling friction occurs when one object rolls over another. It is generally less than sliding friction, making it easier for objects like wheels to roll smoothly. Factors influencing friction. Surface roughness. The roughness of surfaces in contact significantly influences friction. Rough surfaces generate more friction than smooth surfaces because irregularities create interlocking points that resist motion. Normal force. The normal force, exerted perpendicular to the surfaces in contact, affects friction. Increasing the normal force increases the potential for friction, and vice versa. Temperature. Temperature can alter the friction between two surfaces. In some cases, increasing temperature can reduce friction as it may lead to a change in the physical properties of the surfaces. Effects of friction on motion. Energy dissipation. Friction results in the conversion of kinetic energy into thermal energy. As objects slide or roll against each other, the frictional force generates heat, leading to energy dissipation. Limitation on motion. Friction imposes limits on the speed and efficiency of motion. In scenarios where low friction is desired, lubricants or materials with low friction coefficients are employed to minimize the resistance. Control in engineering. Engineers often use friction deliberately to control motion. For instance, brakes in vehicles rely on friction to bring the vehicle to a stop by increasing resistance between the brake pads and the wheels. Wear and tear. Friction can contribute to wear and tear on surfaces in contact. Over time, continuous rubbing or sliding can lead to the erosion of materials, affecting the longevity of components. Reducing friction. Lubrication. Lubricants, such as oil or grease, are used to reduce friction between surfaces. They create a thin film that separates the surfaces and minimizes direct contact. Smoothing surfaces. Smoothing surfaces or using materials with lower friction coefficients can reduce friction. This is often implemented in the design of machinery and transportation systems. Conclusion. While friction is often considered a hindrance to smooth motion, it is an inherent and crucial force that shapes the dynamics of our physical world. Understanding the concept of friction and its effects on motion allows us to navigate its influence, whether by harnessing it for control in engineering or mitigating its impact through lubrication, As we explore the intricacies of objects in motion, the force of friction emerges as a partner in the dance, shaping the dynamics of our everyday interactions with the physical world.